I'm Rob, I'm a healthcare professional, and I'm about to do a pressure check. And this is basically an indication of whether or not the pressure is in the normal sphere, and it really is. Yours is 12 and 13. But pressure isn't the only thing that determines whether you are at risk of this. So I'm going to do what we call a fundus photograph, where I will measure a part of your eye to determine whether or not the pressure is an issue. You see, glaucoma exists when the pressure in that eye is too high for that eye. Now, that varies from person to person. I have people with relatively low pressures that have glaucoma, and I've got the opposite, people with relatively high pressures who do not have glaucoma. So pressure in its own is not the only thing that determines this. So I'm just going to do a quick photograph of each eye. Alright, so this is low. And the one thing you need to also realize, it's not a disease, it's a mechanical problem in the eye. Put your chin on here, please. So what this instrument does is it's going to photograph the interior of your eye. If you can just look at that flashing light for me, please.
There's only one eye.
One eye at a time. We'll start with your right. And you'll see that's what I need. Left side, same process. Can you see the light flashing there? Yeah. Just focus on that for me. I'm not getting a good shot here. Try to focus just on that flashing light. That's it, you've got it now. Perfect. Okay, you can sit back. Looking to do is to measure this slightly lighter area in the back of your eye on your optic nerve is actually a slight depression. And what's important is the size of this thing. So what we do is we compare and measure the size of this depression, and we compare it to the entire optic nerve, and we get basically we're looking at a less than 10%. And this is your other eye. I'll do the same thing again. And the significance of this is that the only part of the eye that can sort of give way if the pressure is too high is this part here. And if this exceeds 30 to 40%, then we can suspect that glaucoma is present. Over 50% is pretty definite. So this part of the examination is actually possibly more important than the measurement of the pressure itself. 17%. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
But that cause, what's the symptoms, or what? How do you know you got glaucoma?
You don't. There is no symptoms. So that's the issue with glaucoma. That's what makes it so difficult. By the time you start realizing there's a problem with your vision, it's already too late. So what happens in glaucoma is that we start with our peripheral vision, starts to narrow. And then eventually later on, the central vision becomes affected. But it takes a long time. It's a slow process in most cases, not all, but most. So it's actually basically a mechanical problem where the amount of fluid being produced in the eye and the amount leaving the eye is out of balance. And the pressure in the eye goes up as a result of either overproduction or too little drainage, or a bit of both. Many factors affect it, anatomy, all sorts of things.